We are compelled to organize this press conference because of the event that is still unfolding from the Joint Admission and Matriculation Board concerning a very young girl, Ejikeme Mmesoma, who was previously reported to be the highest scorer in the JAMB exam that just took place, with a mark of 360 or so. And suddenly, out of the blues, JAMB went wild in the media, attacking the young girl, destroying her reputation, violating her fundamental human rights as a child, because she's still a child. Even though she's trying to go to university, she's still a young girl, And JAMB didn't stop at that. JAMB failed a lot of critical legal tests of fair hearing. If a government institution is accusing a Nigerian citizen, even if the person is a child, just like this girl is, Mmesoma Ejikeme is a child, is still a young girl. If you're going to accuse her of some kind of infraction, you need to give her fair hearing. She was never invited. None of her guardians or her parents were invited. The JAMB just sprang up in their feet and went into a frenzy of accusing the young girl of manipulating the result that she presented as her result from JAMB, and called her all kinds of names. JAMB committed a series of libels against that young girl, breached her child rights. JAMB also has rubbish any kind of name they have. They don't even have any good name. JAMB, as far as the Human Rights Association of Nigeria is concerned, JAMB is a scam. JAMB is an institution that should have been discarded a long time ago, because the processes that take place in JAMB during the exams they always hold for young stars in Nigeria every year lacks credibility, lacks integrity, lacks transparency, lacks accountability. There's nowhere, anywhere in the world where you sit for exams and you do not have recourse for a redress if you feel that you have been victimized. JAMB will just run exams for students. The next few hours, they just produce results from wherever, and you have no right of appeal. You have no way of knowing how did they score you. There's so many things that are wrong with JAMB, and JAMB has outlived its relevance and its usefulness more than 30 years back. But that JAMB is still there because Nigerian government, successive administrations have always been using JAMB as a revenue generation agency for the government, because Nigerian political elites are aware that a lot of Nigerian young people are desirous of going to universities because, funny enough, unlike what obtains in other other Western societies, even the United Kingdom, I'm talking about England that colonized us, that gave us a lot of those the curriculum we were using in schools. We started using in schools right from the 60s up to now. I think a lot of those things we read in schools are still being inspired by a lot of things that are written in Britain. But there's no JAMB in Britain. You don't even have to write JAMB to go to universities. And by the way, why should you be writing JAMB to go to universities when, for instance, JAMB will roll out exam forms that we run into tens of thousands, maybe 20,000 forms. JAMB will sell to 20,000 university admission seeking Nigerian youngsters. And in actual fact, the available vacancies in the university system in Nigeria is not Sorry, it's not more than 5,000. This is an organized crime that JAMB has been doing, and everybody has been keeping quiet. I don't know why people have not yet even started demonstrating against JAMB, that JAMB should be scrapped a long time ago, because it doesn't make any sense for you to sell 20,000 examination, whatever, to 20,000 students, and you have only 5,000 vacancies. Is that not 419? Well, how else do you describe 419? But on this case of this young girl, we in the Human Rights Writers Association of Nigeria would like to address the deeply concerning issue surrounding the Joint Admission and Matriculation Board, and it's alleged, we have the conviction that JAMB's, whoever, what is that his title, sir? The man that's in charge of JAMB, what do they call him, DG? No, the person in charge of JAMB, the head of JAMB, the Islamic man that was made a JAMB head by former President Muhammad Buhari, is Igbophobic. He suffers from Igbophobia. Gross incompetence. The majority of the hierarchy of JAMB are grossly incompetent, and they keep violating they violated the child right of this girl, Ms. Ejikeme Mmesoma. We stand firm in condemning JAMB's actions and call for justice to be served, because JAMB took the position they adopted without respecting the principle of fair hearing. You didn't hear from the girl, and you went to the marketplace to shout from the rooftops, accusing the girl of forging her results. How will a young girl like that forge her result? In which way? Did she hack your system? Has she not explained how she wrote out the result sheet she has shown? You said she did that because she wanted to get scholarships. Has she always been getting scholarships up to this point that she had to sit for JAMB, if that is the basis for that allegation? The case of Ejikeme Mmesoma alleged fake JAMB score has ignited a firestorm of public outrage across national dailies and social media platforms. JAMB, without proper substantiation, accused the girl of manipulating her UTME result to fraudulently obtain scholarships and recognitions. This reckless and seemingly official statement has resulted in the relentless condemnation of an innocent girl who reportedly achieved the highest score in the JAMB examination. It is worth noting that JAMB has failed to provide crucial details, such as how the alleged manipulation occurred, when it happened. JAMB this morning, I think yesterday or so, the latest one was that they were saying if they tell us how the little girl manipulated her result, that everybody will be shocked. JAMB, head of JAMB and the spokesperson of that JAMB should cover their faces in shame. They are so shameless to be engaging in market square quarrel with a young girl. JAMB has turned itself into a trader, one local trader in one Dubai market in Ibadan. You are exchanging wealth with a young girl. If you tell us how she manipulated her result, we'll be shocked. That is a statement of idiocy. It is worth noting that JAMB has failed to provide crucial details, such as how the alleged manipulation occurred, when it happened, whether it was an individual act or involved in a group of individuals, or even a specific app or software supposedly used to hack JAMB's database or server. It is clear that the distinction between manual and electronic manipulation has been deliberately blurred by JAMB. By launching these baseless accusations against Ejikeme, JAMB has not only undermined her reputation, but has shown a complete disregard for her rights as a child, as outlined in the Child Rights Act of 2003. Section 11C of the Child Rights Act explicitly states that every child is entitled to respect for their dignity and should not be subjected to attacks upon their honor or reputation. JAMB's actions have demonstrated either a gross ignorance of or contempt for Nigerian laws, particularly those protecting the rights of children, and even the Nigerian Constitution. We believe that JAMB's motive, particularly the head of JAMB, His motive behind the senseless attacks on this girl is rooted in Igbophobic discrimination. The repeated mention of Anambra State and innocent in their ill-advised public statements suggests a biased agenda aimed at undermining a young girl's achievement simply because of her geographical and ethnic background. This reprehensible act is a clear violation of the principles of fairness, equality, and the rights of the Nigerian child. They also mentioned a case of a young guy from my place of birth in Southern Kaduna, that in the case of that young person, that he doesn't even have the basis for even parading the result that he paraded. If JAMB is making that allegation against these two people, then something is wrong with JAMB. This same JAMB that cannot even seamlessly conduct exams, this same JAMB whose system, computer system and the rest of them are open to all sort of manipulations and hacking, is not worth existing any longer. JAMB should be scrapped. JAMB is a scam, a national scam, that everybody has allowed to continue. A lot of people have been victimized by JAMB in the last 30 years of the existence of JAMB. For instance, we cited an instance. Is it not a case of 419 advanced fee fraud for an institution of government to set exam for 20,000 people when in the real facts, only 5,000 vacancies exist? What is the essence of setting up JAMB? Is it for money-making, money-making machine? And how is the money of JAMB being utilized? Is it the same kind of money that they tell us that snakes have swallowed? Is that a snake is swallowing JAMB's money, or the head of the place is cutting away all the money with his family? The last person that was something has been going in and out of ICPC cell for allegedly looting JAMB. JAMB has become a cesspool of corruption. JAMB has become a cesspool of corruption and an industry of education scam. It should be thrown out immediately. We're going to provide a statement, and we're also going to provide a detailed statement about what we mean by fair hearing. Fair hearing. If you make an allegation against someone and you don't observe the principle of fair hearing, those allegations, to the extent of your refusal to observe fair hearing, is totally null and void. And JAMB is not a court of law to ban somebody from writing an exam for 3 years. That is an act that lacks any kind of logic. We advise the parents of Mmesoma or any NGO, we shouldn't just come out and make noise and we just go back home and rest. We know that some NGOs were set up for public interest litigation. Those NGOs that have bias for public interest litigation should take up this case. But the parent of this girl should, on their own, institute a defamation suit against JAMB. There are clear evidences that JAMB has violated the constitutional norms of upholding the dignity of the human person, as provided for in Chapter 4 of the Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. And there's a clear evidence that JAMB did not observe Section 36(5) of the Constitution, which clearly spells out fair hearing. If you want to call somebody a thief, you give the person fair hearing. You don't go to AIT or Arise TV or channels, or you go to everywhere, newspapers, and say, Mr. A is a thief. The head of JAMB, how will he feel if his daughter, if at all he's a parent, how will he feel if his daughter, because a real parent will not behave the way they are behaving, even the man that is a spokesperson, because the head of that JAMB is not the one signing those illogical and fallacious statements. He didn't sign it, but maybe he got the permission from the head of JAMB. If he's a parent, how will he feel if his daughter is the one that an institution of government will come out and say, you are a scammer, without any verifiable evidence, without any empirical evidence to back up your sensational allegation? Before we conclude, there are certain things I also want to say. Please, just read our text. You will see that the head of that JAMB has had cocktails of allegation of fraud. Even as VC of University of Ilorin, is the man that has a very terrible record. has been anti-union, he's anti-ASU, he's been anti-union, he's not a kind of person that should be in the academia. Long outlive her usefulness, even as far back as 30 years ago. Apart from the fact that JAMB is not even supposed to be in existence at all, because Nigeria is such a very big, complex country. When JAMB started, there were very few universities that were in existence, and JAMB started rolling out forms for students to buy. They buy the forms, they take exams, and at the end of the day, only about less than 30% of the vacancies that ought to be filled are available. Apart from that fact, which underscores our belief that JAMB is a machine for advanced fee fraud on behalf of certain persons in government, because JAMB's money doesn't benefit anybody, apart from snakes that used to steal their money. They will tell you snake has swallowed the money. Then secondly, why do you have to set exam on behalf of universities that ought to be autonomous? For instance, you want to set exams and you're a federal government agency and we practice federalism. Why should JAMB be the one that will set exam for people that will be admitted by the Imo State University, by Edo State University, by Kwara State University? Are we not living in a federation? What kind of federation is that, where you have a very big but empty examination body that we now authorize who we go to which school? That is very, very wrong. I do not think that there are more than 3. If you have 300 countries in the world, JAMB should tell us how many countries in the world still practice the same kind of system. They do the same method of selecting who will go to the university. It doesn't exist in most societies around the world, because most university systems you have all over the world are autonomous, are completely private. Private universities, you take qualifying exams that the school will set for you. That's how it should be. Most of those who even work in JAMB are not even graduates, and yet they are the ones determining who should go to university. Does it make sense? When you have a lot of people, most of them even forge their certificates. There are a lot of certificate forgers inside JAMB. There are assistant directors and the rest of them in JAMB. If you take a very analytic view of who is who in that JAMB, you'll find a lot of certificate forgers that are there. And yet they are the ones that are determining who goes to universities. So JAMB has outlived her usefulness a long time ago. And importantly, there's nowhere in the world where exams are set and those students who are being examined do not have the right to seek redress if they feel that their rights have been violated. If I write exam, I told you, let me give you an instance. I don't want to use myself as an instance. Let's not be like it's a personal issue. But I have a lot of experiences from people around me, people that you know that are ordinarily, they are stars in different fields. There are people who have made distinctions in mathematics and other courses, that when they write JAMB will turn out with a result of 45 points, 45 out of 100. And you do not have a way, there's nowhere within JAMB, I don't know if they have started it, because it's been long I got disconnected from JAMB. JAMB, I don't think that JAMB has a system whereby if you feel that the result they are showing you does not reflect what you have in your brain or what you have given out, whether you can demand that you see your result, how it was marked. What is the marking scheme? JAMB doesn't have that. They should publicize the marking schemes. In fact, for all, we don't even believe that they should exist any longer. But since the system in Nigeria is a system that encourages 419, Nigerian political system incubates, harvests, and dine and wine with 419, advanced fee fraud. It's only how they can oppress the masses. The only policies they're churning out is how they can steal more money from people who do not even get anything from the government. You take the so-called subsidy that does not even exist anywhere, petrol subsidy that doesn't exist, that is just money that is brought from NNPC revenue and shared among themselves. They call it subsidy. Now, there's no subsidy anywhere that exists. It's of you to run a proper subsidy where you will find a way of making sure that people who are traveling from one point to the next point will enjoy fair transportation, fare. You don't do that. You take it away, and you impose a lot of taxations. Now they are bringing a new one they call ownership, whatever, car ownership, whatever, that they want to also share. They are not satisfied with all the looting they are doing. So, JAMB is a cesspool of corruption. JAMB is a house of scam. House of scam. And I have elaborated all the methods they are using to rob the ordinary youngsters, you know, and they have escalated their criminality by attacking individual candidates. You said somebody forged her result. How did she forge her result? What process did you take to analytically and conclusively determine that she forged her result? Did you respect the constitutionally guaranteed principle of fair hearing? No, it wasn't even observed. You just treat students, you just treat them like just ordinary thieves on the street. Even a thief on the street is not, you don't go to TV and say this man is a thief. You don't do that. You don't do that. Maybe that JAMB is copying from what the police is doing. When police will arrest somebody who has not yet been convicted as a thief, police will call the person a thief and parade the person on TV stations. All of you that are here will now carry the person on the front page, and the person becomes a thief. When the court has not even entertained that matter, JAMB does not have the right to destroy the reputation of this girl, even if, assuming, without conceding, that JAMB is correct in their conclusion. The processes they took to reach a determination is criminal. That's why we're saying there is Igbophobia in JAMB. And they will say, what is Igbophobia? What about the guy from Southern Kaduna that also forged his certificate? Then we say, why the emphasis on Anambra? The Anambra girl, in that their statement they released, those two statements they released, always Anambra everywhere. What is scaring the head of JAMB about Igbos and Anambra? What's his problem with Anambra? What is his problem with Anambra? Thank you. They will send you both because we did that.